Hello, everyone. Yesterday, we had the shocking news out of the blue that Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, who was well known to everybody in the United States, been around for a long time in politics, had suddenly passed away out of the blue. He had been on a trip to Europe, and over the last 24 hours, we saw lots of speculation online. How could someone who appears to be a very healthy, vibrant 71-year-old man suddenly pass away? We have had some news in terms of what caused the death, and we are going to go over this. And importantly, we are going to talk about the science behind what happened, why somebody with this condition can suddenly pass away, the risk factors, and how anybody who's at risk can be screened. So we really hope that you can gain something from this discussion. Awful news. Firstly, our hearts go out to the family and friends of Senator Graham. This is not about politics. We are going to talk about the science behind what happened, because yesterday the news came out that he passed away from an aortic dissection. So who better than to get us started than our star cardiologist here, Dr. Peter Chiatellis? Why don't you tell us what this is, an aortic dissection?
Sure. This is such an unfortunate event and really highlights the importance of screening for this, because an aortic dissection isn't necessarily a chronic disease. And so what happened here is the aorta, I say, is sort of a hose that comes off the heart. It's the main hose and the main blood supply that comes off the heart and feeds the blood supply to the rest of your body. And what happened in this case is likely he had what's called a type A aortic dissection. And what that is your aorta is a 3-layered vessel, and a dissection is a tear in the first layer of that vessel and allows blood to kind of rush in, and it can really just pull apart the other layers of that wall of the blood vessel, which is really catastrophic because essentially you can imagine any hose under pressure for a long time can burst. And this is essentially what happened in this case. The inner layer of the artery burst, blood rushes in, it peels apart the other layers. And really what happens is you have complete collapse of the vascular system or hemodynamic system in the body. And that's why the mortality or the death rate of this is so high. And really the type A aortic dissection can suddenly progress. And we look at the mortality of it, and it's quite staggering that even like in the first hours when it first happens, mortality or death rate goes up by 1% to 2% per hour. So it just highlights of how this needs to be identified so quickly. And the symptoms can be sort of not specific, but usually can also present as a really sudden tearing, ripping chest pain or back pain. And people often describe this as maybe like the worst pain of their life.
Wow. Well, thank you for that explanation. So what you're essentially talking about is the main vessel out of the heart, the aorta, having a defect in the wall. And from that, you get potentially rupture of the entire vessel, which is a catastrophic event, almost like massive trauma to the chest. The vessel bursts. And as you said, the cardiovascular system collapses. And I've seen some statistic that there's a 50% mortality from a severe dissection that happens. And Dr. Ben, I know that you're in the world of primary care, so we can start talking about risk factors, because this isn't, it's not common, but it's not uncommon either. We've all heard of this condition before. We've seen patients with this. So what would be some risk factors for people to look out for? I mean, firstly, obviously, he's a man, and that particular age group is the highest risk, is it not?
That's exactly correct. Now, you have to understand before we talk about that, you're talking about the biggest vessel in the body, right? So you're talking about most of the blood is pumping through this vessel at any one time. So if you split it open, you can imagine that's catastrophic. That's why this is such a big deal. If you have a cut, an opening, a dissection in this artery, it's a disaster. And Dr. Peter described it perfectly. It's this ripping chest pain, and it's all of a sudden usually is what we see. Now, you're right. There isn't phenomenal screening tools for it. There's, you know how certain conditions like colon cancer, you're going to get a colonoscopy to check for that. We don't have anything like that for a dissection. So it's all about decreasing risk factors. And when we think of those, some of the biggest ones are age. So being over 60 already puts you at risk for this condition. Smoking is a huge one. So smoking does an enormous amount of damage to vessels and vasculature throughout your body. And the aorta is by no means an exception. That is where a lot of the inflammation will occur. High blood pressure that's untreated. If you're walking around all day with very high blood pressure and you're not treating that at all, you're going to put yourself at a fair amount of risk for a condition like that. Now, I'm not saying you should try to find different ways to treat your blood pressure, but you need to know what it is and you need to be addressing it because of conditions like this. And there are many other risk factors that develop over time. So low physical activity, obesity, these things play into this. Certainly high levels of inflammation from other kinds of conditions play into this. So there are quite a few risk factors, but none of them are super surprising. They're the things we talk about quite a bit.
Got you. Thank you for that. Yes, and you've touched upon there the major risk factors for heart disease that we've covered in many of our talks. So obesity, insulin resistance, smoking. I do want to touch on family history, and I want to get your thoughts, Dr. Peter, because I believe the official report said that he had this rupture because he did have vascular disease, which presumably they had done some sort of autopsy on him and made that diagnosis. I did read somewhere that Senator Lindsey Graham, his life story is quite fascinating as well. He was in the military for a long time, but it said that both his parents died very young, and he assumed guardianship of his sister. He had a very tough upbringing, served in the military afterwards, and it didn't say how his parents passed away, so I don't want to speculate, but I do want to talk about a family history of vascular disease and dissection. Then we can talk about how people can get screened, but I'm presuming that's a big risk factor.
It definitely is. And going back to what you said, Ben, is that chronic high blood pressure is sort of a silent killer. And so you can imagine the aorta, that big hose coming off your heart under pressure, just like any hose under pressure for a prolonged period of times can weaken. And smoking definitely is a huge risk factor, not only for this, but also just general vascular disease. So that definitely plays a component. So going over just family history, and especially when you have a first degree relative, meaning like a parent that may have had a sudden cardiac event, we can assume if someone has something that they pass away suddenly from, a lot of times it could be a cardiovascular event. And so there is some basis to that. Now, there are some more rare genetic disorders that people have that can run in families, like Marfan's, Ehlers-Danlos, or these hyperflexible disorders that people can have that can run in families. Some people are born with what we call a bicuspid aortic valve. So this is a valve, it's a main front door of your heart while the blood leaves your heart. Usually is made up of 3 pieces of tissue, but can sometimes be bicuspid and made up of 2. And people who have that have what we call an aortopathy, or basically weakening of the connective tissue or the elasticity throughout the vessel walls. And these people can be more prone to aneurysm. So family history is actually very key here. And talking about it and finding out like more information can lead to screening, because in reality, there's not a lot of good screening for a dissection per se, because remember, a dissection is an acute event. It's an emergency. It's not a chronic disease. It's not something that we follow, especially with a type A dissection. Now, there's a type B dissection, which has a lower mortality rate and can be managed medically, but the killers are the type A. And so a couple things that people can do. There is genetic counseling that hospitals can do to check for genetic disorders, as we talked about, and those would be done in a hospital setting. The other just screening, or people may have had this in the past, like go back through your previous history and maybe you've had a CAT scan of your chest for something else. And it's good to check that CAT scan, because sometimes buried in all the information could be the wording like an enlarged aorta. An echocardiogram, which is an ultrasound of your heart, actually looks at the pumping function of the heart, but also we can measure the aorta as it comes off the heart by the ultrasound as well. So these are all screening that is approved and can be done for identifying aneurysms. And that's the key, is identifying the aneurysm. Because remember, dissections can happen in traumatic situations, like saying after a major trauma, but they can also happen when people have an aortic aneurysm. So that's an enlarged aorta over time that's weakening. And that's something can be followed, because we know that those can proceed to a tear dissection.
Got you. Okay, so we're really talking about either a CAT scan or an echocardiogram. And I personally recommend that most people, even over the age of 50, if you've never had an echocardiogram, then get one. I mean, we're the last doctors to overtest, but it's very simple. It's just an ultrasound probe on the heart. It's not like a lot of radiation or a big test. So CT, echocardiogram could be done. And I've seen many CTs and echocardiogram where it's reported that there's an issue with the aorta, and that would be a big opportunity for anybody watching. If you're concerned there's a family history or you're worried about your aorta for any other reason or simply want screening, get those done. I want to touch upon one other thing, gentlemen, is there was lots of speculation online about what could have caused this. He had just returned from Europe. Was anything else involved? I mean, I saw all sorts of things, but it's very important for our audience to understand, and Dr. Ben, you weigh in on this too, that this is not a heart attack, like a sudden cardiac event. It's very different. This is something that usually festers for a long time. We mentioned the risk factors. High blood pressure, I agree, would be the number one thing. So, of course, at the other extreme, we have talked about overtreatment of blood pressure, but you don't want blood pressure which is too high. And in terms of looking at Senator Lindsey Graham, I mean, obviously he was the age risk factor. Looking at his pictures, and I don't want to be over the top here because he wasn't terribly out of shape, but he didn't look in shape. He had like visceral fat there in some pictures that I saw. And yeah, maybe he had an issue with underlying blood pressure that wasn't looked at. And this was probably festering for a long time, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, I don't know his medical history, but I can tell you that the pathology between an aortic dissection and heart attack are pretty different. A heart attack, it depends, but usually there are some warning signs. There's some shortness of breath. There's some chest pain that develops, especially when you're walking upstairs or long distances. And that is giving you a warning that you're not getting enough blood supply to the heart. A dissection is very different. It is as Dr. Peter said, it's a very sudden catastrophic event where there's a dissection down. Many of these people do not necessarily report major symptoms prior to this occurring, which makes it pretty scary. There are two different types that Dr. Peter talked about, the A and the B. What's important to note about the differences is A is the ascending. It's when the aorta comes out of the heart and is curling around. B is below. So it's when it's kind of descending lower. The A has so much pressure, which is why it's so much more devastating. But you can understand once it occurs, you get symptoms immediately. So you're not really getting the warning signs. That's why it's so important to work on these risk factors we talked about, no matter what, because that's going to be your way to prevent things like this from happening, be they heart attacks, be they dissections. It's the same risk factors that we ask you to work on, because these are one of the many things we don't want you injured from.
And Dr. Peter, I'll let you finish off there because I think that there's a lot to gain from this, but there's the catastrophic nature of it. I can't think of too many things which would cause a sudden death, as it were, like this, maybe a brain aneurysm, thoracic aneurysm. But it's very important because so many people online were saying, how could this happen out of the blue? And I'll let you have the last word with, yes, it can happen out of the blue, and the importance of risk factors and screening.
Well, what I say is you can't screen for the tear, but you can screen the aorta. And this is the importance of this, is really finding out, identifying if you do have an aneurysm or you are predisposed by your family history. Do you have a connective tissue disorder? But to answer your question, it does happen out of the blue in some cases, especially in people who have the risk factors. And it's everything we talked about: uncontrolled high blood pressure, increased stress, increased sympathetic stress. These are all play a role in just your health, but also your vascular health. And it is one of those things. So if you do have this kind of pain, because remember, heart attacks can present as really bad pain as well. And the difference is, with a heart attack, we want to give aspirin or blood thinner. With an aortic dissection, it's a bleeding issue and you don't want to give a blood thinner. So again, a lot of times if you were to have like the worst pain of your life, you go to the emergency room and a CAT scan can be done. And really we say time is myocardium or time is heart muscle when people have a heart attack, but time is so essential in an aortic dissection because, again, the death rate of it just goes up so high every hour that it's not being diagnosed.
And the only treatment, Dr. Peter, would be surgery, correct?
Emergent surgery. Absolutely.
You have to be near a big center. Wow. Well, I hope that you all benefited from that explanation and you better understand what an aortic dissection is. Absolute tragic event. Once again, from all of us here, our hearts go out to Senator Lindsey Graham's family and friends. Sudden news yesterday, and it does highlight the importance of thinking a lot about the heart and vascular systems at all times. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Do check in the links down below for our website. Take care, everyone, and we will speak again very soon.